Why, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I'm your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's dive right on in. Today, we're going to be covering of my review of the RoboCop game, which is one of the monthly releases on PlayStation Plus, followed by some gameplay footage for Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Bonanza. We got some new footage for Emma Frost on Marvel Rivals and some Trump tariffs that are going to cause some issues for the Nintendo Switch 2. For our movie news topics today, we're going to be reviewing the Minecraft movie and A Working Man. We got some footage from Tron Ares trailer. We got Superman sneak peek. We want to talk a little bit about the passing of Val Kilmer and the final presentation for Paramount Pictures announcements at CinemaCon. So go ahead and stay tuned for all this stuff, guys. Starting with our game news topic, RoboCop Rogue City. I just got done playing it. It is free on PlayStation Plus if you guys don't remember the PlayStation Plus monthly games. Now, before I give you guys my thoughts on the game, I just want to tell you guys my rating system real quick. So, when normally people give something 1 out of 10, if anything's a 5 or lower, it's horrible, or 7 is not too good. But the way I do it is 5 out of 10 is literally middle of the road. It's not good, it's not bad. It's mediocre game. Anything above 5 is going into the good to great and beyond. Anything below 5 is going into the horrible, ridiculously crap, and so on. So when I give my ratings, just so you guys know, just because something's a 6, something's a 7 doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. That's just how I feel about my rating system. Anyways, moving on from that. So RoboCop Rogue City has some issues with it. There are some bugs. I had some audio issues, some video issues, some performance issues. But usually when I exited out of the game and re-entered, it fixed itself. But I did want to say that, yeah, there are some bugs. It's quite a buggy game. It's not a smooth sailing game when it comes to gameplay itself. But the story is fun. The gameplay is fun. And I really, really enjoyed this game. I had a great time playing it. I'm going to be playing the new Game Plus version of it now that I've beaten the game, the story itself. And I loved that Peter Weller returned to reprise his role as RoboCop. No one could do it like he can. And this game just was a lot of fun. I love the upgrading system for your weapon. Excuse me. I wasn't expecting you to be able to upgrade your pistol that RoboCop has, but I love some of the upgrades you had. I got to the point where you could basically fire unlimited ammo without reloading, and it was just so much fun to be able to use that. Picking up characters, throwing them and tossing them across like rag dolls. I can't even explain to you guys how much I enjoyed this game. I was very, very happy that I got to check it out, and I was very disappointed that I didn't support this game sooner. Sometimes you just don't have a good feeling about a game, and then you pick it up and you really enjoyed it. And this is one of those games for me. So for me, I give this a 7 out of 10. Great game. I hope you guys take the chance to go play it, take a look at it. And it takes place right after, excuse me, right after the first RoboCop movie. So there is some lore to this. So I just, loved it. I don't think RoboCop 2 is canon in this world. So this is just this own version of RoboCop 2. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you played RoboCop Rogue City, and what did you guys think about it? Moving on to our next topic. Looks like Mario Kart World has now have some gameplay footage released. They were doing this thing called the Nintendo Week or something like that, where they were showing some gameplay footage. But they finally showed us what the game was looking like. And, as far as the open, quote-unquote, open world aspect of it, I really didn't understand. Maybe they just didn't show that gameplay. It more or less like you drive in the race to the next race section. So I didn't really understand that, but maybe it's just because they weren't playing that game mode. I'm not sure. But the gameplay looked like a Mario Kart game. Looked like a lot of fun, entertaining. For some reason, for me, everything in the video, maybe because I didn't have hands-on and wasn't racing myself, things seemed a bit slow as far as gameplay footage. Like the cars didn't seem like they were going that fast. But that's just me, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I have a link to the footage to the gameplay in the description down below. But let me know what you guys think. I just thought it was a typical Mario Kart game. It looks like fun. Moving on to our next topic. In that same vein, they also showed some gameplay footage of Donkey Kong Bonanza. We finally got some gameplay footage of that. And this one looks to be an open world Donkey Kong game. It looks very entertaining, a lot of fun. Donkey Kong looks overpowered and I really loving the way that this game looks. Now, personally, I'm not a big Switch guy. I do have a Switch. Excuse me. I probably won't be purchasing a Switch 2. Not yet, at least. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wait for a couple more games to come out on it before I purchase it. But yeah, this game does look like a lot of fun. And let me know what you guys think of the Donkey Kong Bonanza gameplay footage that I'll have linked in the description down below. Moving on to topic number 4, Marvel Rivals Season 2 is coming out on April 11th, and we finally got our Emma Frost gameplay footage. Now, I was very interesting how they were gonna show her gameplay, because in the game, or in the comic book, she can turn into diamonds, but she's more of a telepath, like Professor X is. So I was very curious how they were gonna show these powers being utilized with her character, and it looks like she can be. I'm not sure what she's releasing with her hands, if it's like a stream of diamonds, or if she's just messing with people's minds and hurting them that way. But she seems to have not necessarily a lock on like Wanda does, but a straight beam that you can, almost like an Iron Man beam. It looks like she's shooting out of her hand. She can also turn into diamonds and stop certain attacks. Now, I think she can still be damaged in this diamond phase, but it's a lot less damage taken to her body. And she can also project a diamond to use as a shield to block other enemy projectiles and things of that sort. And I'm really loving the way her gameplay is looking. There's this one move she does where she like grabs people by the neck, throws them down, and kicks them. That looks like a lot of fun. And her ult looks like it's a mind control ult, where she uses it and then people's health starts going down while they're in it. And it looks like she has some type of mind control where it brings them towards her. Now, I'm not sure if they're trying to kill themselves, because in the video we see they fall off a cliff. I'm not sure if they go to the nearest damage point or if they come towards Emma Frost herself, so she can deal more damage to them. We'll have to wait and see when the game is released. But yeah, this looks like a lot of fun, and I'm sure that there's other gameplay footage. I'm sure people have early access to her, so I have no doubt that that's on YouTube. So you guys go ahead and take a look at that when you guys have the chance. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to play Emma Frost on April 11th? And moving on to our last topic of the day. Excuse me, guys. So I put this one for last because it's probably going to be the longest discussion we're going to have now. Usually, I don't like talking politics. People have their own beliefs and stuff like that. But when it's prevalent to movies or when it's prevalent to game, I will talk about it. And right now, because of the Trump tariff plans, delays for the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders have occurred. Now, initially, because the Nintendo Switch 2 was priced so high at $450, I had assumed, and I don't know why I had assumed this, but I had just a thought that the reason the price was already so high was because of the tariffs, that they pre-planned it so they can charge so much so they can make adjustments for it. But I guess they did not do that. And as of April 2nd, excuse me, when the Trump tariffs took place, they have kind of put the pre-orders on hold. Now, we're still not sure what they're going to do. I know China, I think most of the production for the Switch is done in China and Vietnam, which I think are being tariffed around 56%, give or take. And so they're probably trying to wait and see how this turns out before they reopen the pre-orders. Now, we still have until June 5th before the Switch 2 is released, so we still have some time to see how the negotiations work with these tariffs and things of that sort. But yeah, they'll probably have to come back with a higher price for the Switch 2, maybe having it be $500. But who knows? There's a lot going on with the tariffs and the trade negotiations in the world of politics and things of that sort. And it is being a hindrance to the game industry as of right now. I think this is sad. I think I'm so very, very surprised Nintendo didn't take this into consideration before making this announcement. Only because the Trump politics have been very open to when they're going to be doing their tariff stuff. They've been saying it for I think a month now that they're going to be dropping the tariffs on April 2nd, and everyone's known it. So I'm very surprised that this hasn't been taken into consideration. I think that's why I had assumed that the price was already so high. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that the Nintendo should have already planned for these tariffs? Do you think these tariffs are going to hold back the release of the Nintendo Switch 2 in the US? It's very difficult. As far as politically, I'm not sure how these tariffs are going to work and things of that sort. Hopefully, they work out for the benefit of America if that's what they want. As far as for the game industry, it looks like studios and game companies are going to have to start possibly developing some of these consoles in the United States at some point with these tariffs being in place. We'll have to wait and see. I think Xbox and Xbox and Sony are in a good position right now because we're still about 2 years away from their next console. And with that being said, they'll probably do some development in the U.S. to help with these tariffs, and probably negotiations will be all settled by then. At that point, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But for the Nintendo Switch 2, I think it's fine, and hopefully it gets to a point where we can get a nice release at the same price point. Because if they have to up the price because of these tariffs, then they're already not going to sell a lot because of the price point. So they're going to sell even that much less if it happens to be even more because of these tariffs. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Moving on to our movie news topics of the day. Last night, I got a chance to go to the theater and I did a double feature of A Working Man and the Minecraft movie. Now, I'm going to start off with The Working Man, or A Working Man. This movie, I thought it was going to be like The Beekeeper, which is one of Jason Statham's most recent movies that I really enjoyed. So I was hoping we'd get something similar to that. One second, guys. I want to pull up A Working Man so we can give some more details. So yeah, I was expecting this to be a little more, because I think it's from the same director as The Beekeeper as well. Yeah, it's David Ayer, and he directed The Beekeeper, A Working Man, End of Watch, Suicide Squad. So he's a great director. Now, I know people don't really like Suicide Squad. I don't blame that on him. I blame that on the studio. But some of the other movies he's directed, like Fury and things like that, he's a great director. So I was expecting this to be really good, like The Beekeeper was, and it just wasn't. It was okay. It was pretty, the action scenes were fun. Jason Statham's always entertaining when he's doing action. The story was a bit boring. It dragged out a bit, but the fight scenes were a lot of fun. And I think David Harbour was a bit underutilized in this role. So was Michael Pena. Very, very small roles in this movie. It was mostly a Jason Statham go beat him up type movie. So yeah, I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. It was fun and entertaining to watch, but overall not too good. But one other thing that I want to mention. So I know this is a stupid nitpick, but there's a scene in this movie. Spoilers if you don't want to know anything about it, but just minor spoiler. There's a scene where these people are going to a cabin, like a fancy cabin in the woods or whatever, and you see a shot of the moon. And the whole time they cut to outside and you see the moon, it is very distracting because this moon size is fucking huge. Forgive me, but it is ridiculously over the top, gigantic moon in the sky, and it just pulled me right out of the movie because all I could think about was how that is not how the moon ever looks, and it just looked like a horrible fake background. But that's just a stupid little nitpick, but it bothered me during the movie, so I just want to let you guys know. If you check it out, let me know what you guys think of A Working Man. Moving on to the next movie. The Minecraft movie was, I don't know how to put this. It was a kid's movie, if that makes sense. And how do I say this? I think the smart way to compare this for me is to compare it to the Sonic movie. Now, the Sonic movie is a kid's movie, but there's a lot of entertainment there for adults, and Jim Carrey brings a lot to the table. Now, with this, Jack Black, who is a great actor, and I love him in most of his projects that he does, he just was himself in this movie. You can tell there wasn't really much acting involved. Jack Black was being Jack Black. Jason Momoa was trying to be weird and quirky and stuff, and I think Jennifer Coolidge was a bit underutilized, and honestly I don't think her character brought anything to the story. Her little side story could have been completely cut out. It wouldn't have changed anything about the movie. And yeah, not much made me laugh in this movie. There's a couple things that were a bit ridiculous and a bit funny, but yeah, overall just not a great movie, and I did not enjoy this, and I looked forward to when the credits rolled. Sad to say. I wish I would have enjoyed this because I do like fun dumb comedies like this. I do like, Sonic the Hedgehog. I do like the Lego movies. I do like movies of this sort. I even like the Captain Underpants movie. So the fact that this movie didn't entertain me was a bit sad, but it is what it is, and uh, hopefully if they do make a sequel, which my theater was packed, so I'm assuming it's going to do pretty good at the box office. The box office results for Monday aren't out yet, or for the weekend aren't out yet. But as of right now, let's see how the weekend's looking real quick, guys. Let's see. As of right now, it's looking like Minecraft's making 150 million dollars, which is really good. So there'll probably end up being a sequel if it continues to make good money like this. But we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think. Did you watch the Minecraft movie? Oh, and my rating for this movie would probably be 4 out of 5. Just not a movie I would go back and watch. Just really, really underneath the level. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the movie. Am I being too harsh? Should I have turned my brain off a little more? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next topic. So recently we talked about Warner Brothers' presentation at CinemaCon and how they showed some footage for the Superman sneak peek, and how that sneak peek was going to be played in front of the Minecraft movie in Thailand. It looks like they ended up doing that in the United States as well. And we have it now here on YouTube, our first Superman sneak peek. And it shows what we saw in the trailer, Superman landing in the snow and whistling for Crypto to come help him. Now, there was this funny, it ended up being real funny for me watching Crypto run up and start beating Superman's ass on accident, because if you haven't had a dog, and if you haven't, I highly recommend you guys get a dog at some point in your life, because they're very lovely creatures. But moving on, dogs don't know what you're necessarily asking for right away, because they're just happy to see you and want to jump all over you and pounce on you and love you, especially when they haven't seen you in a while. So that's what we got here. Superman's lying in the snow, hurt, and Crypto goes and pounces on him, jumps on him, wants to love him, bites on his toes, and he's kicking Superman's ass, and Superman's screaming because he's in pain. I just found that very funny, and very, very, very much James Gunn comedy. I think it was great. Crypto then drags him to the Fortress of Solitude, where we see. This is what I think is interesting. I've never seen a depiction of the Fortress of Solitude where it appears as Superman approaches. So I think that's very interesting and new, and I'm kind of curious when it goes down. Does it go away when he leaves? Questions that need to be answered. But anyways, they go up to the Fortress of Solitude, and the Superman robots come out, pick him up, and they talk. We got Alan Tudyk's voicing one of the robots. I love Alan Tudyk. He's a great actor. So yeah, he's voicing one of the robots, and he's right there. And they take him to be on this medical table where they bring out some magnifying glasses as the Fortress of Solitude turns, which is really interesting. I love that depiction of Fortress of Solitude being able to actually move. So it turns towards the sun so they can magnify the glass on, do a magnified of the sun onto him, and he starts screaming in pain. Now, I think it's interesting because I really think this is our first time seeing Superman depicted in a way where he is beat to shit. Now, I know in Batman v Superman, we got Superman being stabbed by Doomsday and dying. We've seen him, impaled by kryptonite and in pain with those sorts. But I don't think I've ever seen Superman just in pain after a fight and then getting more in pain when being healed from the sun. So I think it's interesting that they did this with Superman, only because one of the problems with Superman when it comes to film is how do you depict someone that can't be beaten as someone you have to worry about. So I think they underpowered Superman for this movie, and I think it's a good thing that they did that. Maybe they underpowered him, or maybe he got beat up by someone that's overpowered. We'll have to wait and see when the movie comes out, but I'm really enjoying how they're depicting it so far. I know a lot of people won't like that because Superman is Superman, but I think it's a great idea for this new DCEU, and I think this is a great sneak peek. Let me know what you guys think of this sneak peek in the comments down below. Moving on to topic number 3. Sadly, we lost one of the legends in Hollywood. Val Kilmer passed away on April 1st, and it's my first time getting to talk about it. I love Val Kilmer as an actor. It's so sad to see him go. And, just a moment of silence for his passing. And yeah, guys, what I wanted to do here was, not only thank him for his hard work. I grew up with Batman Forever, and I loved him in that movie when I was a kid. Those Batman movies, while they're not good anymore, I have nostalgic feelings for them, and I love them. And he was one of my Batman, so thank you so much for that, Mr. Kilmer. And I just wanted to name off some of the movies that I really enjoy of his, and I wanted to let you guys know, just in case you haven't seen any of these, that he gives great performances in a lot of his roles, but these are just ones that stand out to me. So I hope you guys take a chance to take a look at some of these roles of his, and hopefully you guys watch these and let me know what you guys think about them. The first movie, of course, is Top Gun 1 and 2. Now, he doesn't have a big role in the second Top Gun, but I think it's lovely. That was his last role that we got to see him on screen. I think it's great that it's one of his most famous roles, being the Iceman, and, seeing him return. So Top Gun 1 and 2 would be my first suggestion to watch. My next suggestion to watch for Val Kilmer would be Heat. This stars Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, and he plays a great part in this movie. He's probably one of the best characters in the movie. So yeah, guys, go ahead and check out Heat. Another movie is Ghost in the Darkness. This takes place in Africa, and Val Kilmer is fighting off against crazy wild lions. Another movie is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, where he stars alongside Robert Downey Jr., and this movie is a lot of fun. It's the same director as Iron Man 3, and I think this role was the reason why Robert Downey Jr. got the Iron Man role, and Val Kilmer plays a great role in this movie. Another movie is The Saint. Now, if you haven't seen this, Val Kilmer basically plays a man that does multiple personalities. Semi-spy-ish movie. It takes place, I think, in the early 90s, and is a very entertaining movie, in my opinion. So yeah, go ahead and check out The Saint. And of course, my next two are probably my favorite Val Kilmer performances. One being an animated movie, that would be The Prince of Egypt. Now, I know a lot of people aren't very into religious movies, but I think this is one of those ones that it's just a great movie, great singing, great performance for the voice actors, and I think Val Kilmer kills it in this role as not only the voice of God, but also the voice of oh my God, why can't I think of the character's name? So you got one of the biggest story in the Bible. Hold on one second, guys. I want to make sure I get this right. See, this is the one bad thing about doing things without stopping your recording. You just come off as an idiot, but, sometimes you just fumble things. Moses, there you go. He's the voice of Moses. So yeah, I highly recommend you guys check out The Prince of Egypt if you enjoy animated movies and musicals. And last one, I think, is his best performance, in my opinion, Tombstone. Oh my God, he does I'll be a Huckleberry. Just, oh my God. If you know Tombstone, you know the line, and he fucking killed it in this role. And I love watching Tombstone just to see his performance. It's a great Western, probably one of the best Westerns I've seen, only because I haven't watched a lot of Westerns. I got to pick up on my Westerns on that. But you also not only have Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, you have Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp, you have Sam Elliott. I forget who Sam Elliott plays. I think it's Virgil Eep, something like that. And you have Bill Paxton as he plays Wyatt Earp's brother. What's his name? Morgan, I think it is. Morgan Earp. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, yeah, just great actors, great acting. I highly recommend you guys check out Tombstone, one of his best performances, again, in my opinion. Moving on to our next topic. CinemaCon has finally wrapped up, and we got our last two announcements shown at CinemaCon, and those last two would be the Disney announcements and the Paramount Pictures announcements. Starting off with the Disney announcements, because I was hoping to get some Star Wars news here, but we got zero Star Wars news as far as what I'm seeing here. But I'm going to start going off the list of movies that Disney has announced. Now, I want to remind you, Disney not only owns Disney, they own Marvel, they own Fox as well. So we're going to get some movies here that you did not know Disney owned. So just pay attention to what movies are being announced so you can see what they own. They have quite a bit of franchises. So the first one, of course, they have the Thunderbolts coming out May 2nd, 2025. They have the Lilo and Stitch live action movie coming out on May 23rd, 2025, which I think looks phenomenal. I can't wait. They have Pixar's Elio coming out on June 20th, 2025, which I loved the first trailer, so I'm very excited to see that. They have the Fantastic Four First Steps coming out July 25th, 2025. Now, if you don't want to know anything about it, please skip ahead like 30 seconds right now. Anyways, so I guess during some of the footage, they really announced that she is going to be pregnant. So we will be seeing Reed Richards' son, Franklin Richards, in this movie, which is really exciting. Moving on to our next movie, we got Freaky Friday coming out August 8th, 2025. Again, the trailer was okay, but I really enjoy Jamie Lee Curtis, so I can't wait to see her in this role because I love the original. Uh, we have Predators Badlands coming out November 7th, 2025. Now, if you did not know, Disney does own the Predator franchise, and they released Prey on Hulu, and it did so well that they ended up releasing the Aliens movie, which was set to be released on Hulu, into theaters, and that did well too. So I'm hoping we get a theatrical release. I mean, this was announced at CinemaCon, so I have no doubt we're going to get a theatrical release for Predator Badlands. But apparently, from what I'm hearing from this footage, this Predator is being cast out from his tribe, set to a planet to survive on his own, and he is out there trying to survive. I guess it's a Predator fighting. I guess you could say it's a Castaway meets Predator, which I think is really awesome. I cannot wait to check it out, and I think I've seen some of the pictures of his design online. If you guys want to look that up, you can. But let me know what you guys think of Predator Badlands. I'm very excited for that one. We also have Tron Ares coming out October 10th, 2025. Now, since recording this, they have dropped a YouTube video of the teaser trailer for Tron Ares, which looks very interesting. They're finally coming to the real world, which looks very interesting. Let me know what you guys think of that trailer down below. I'll probably have it listed underneath the article I have here for the Comic-Con releases or announcements. We have Zootopia 2 coming November 26, 2025. I think this is fine. You know, Zootopia was a good movie, so it makes sense they're making a sequel. And they have Avatar Fire and Ash coming out December 19th, 2025. I cannot wait to see some of this footage because some of the things that I've read here looks very exciting, introducing I guess you could say the Fire Tribe or the Lava Tribe from this world, and actually seeing some bad Na'vi for once. It's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to check that out. Deliver Me From Nowhere. I have no idea what that is, but it's from director Scott Cooper. We do not have a release date for that. And I think that is about it for the Disney presentation. Nothing from Star Wars, nothing from Avengers, Doomsday, or anything like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of these announcements. Which movie are you mostly excited for? For me, I actually think besides, it's a toss-up between Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Predator Badlands. I just think Predator Badlands has the potential to be really, really great. So you know what? I'm going to probably put that one ahead. I think my most anticipated is Predator Badlands from that announcement. And moving on to our last topic for game news, CinemaCon's Paramount Pictures announcements. Let me pull this up here, make sure I have the right article. Yes, I do right here. Okay. So starting off, we have some announcements for, I'm not sure if we have release dates for these movies as of yet, but here are some movies that they have announced. Children of Blood and Bone, Heart of the Beast. They have an untitled Trey Parker and Matt Stone movie with Kendrick Lamar for the music. I think it's going to be a musical. Now, if you don't know who Trey Parker and Matt Stone are, they are the creators of South Park, so it's probably going to be a really good comedy. We have Sonic the Hedgehog 4. We have Scream 7. They announced The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be a live action, kind of like the Netflix show was, or if this is going to be an animated one. I'm assuming animated, but we'll have to wait and see what when we get further details on this movie. They announced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2. They, of course, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning on May 23rd, 2025, which I cannot wait to see. Tom Cruise kills it in this franchise. They got Smurfs on July 18th, 2025, and I don't know whoever owns the Smurfs or getting royalties for the Smurfs, like, congratulations to you, because I don't know why they keep trying to make this a damn thing. Like, these movies aren't good. I'm just throwing it out there. That's just my bad. Anyways, the SpongeBob movie, The Search for SquarePants, is coming out December 19th, 2025. I love SpongeBob. I haven't watched all the movies, but I'll probably check this one out. We'll just have to wait and see. We have Roof Man, which I have no idea what that is, coming October 3rd, 2025. They have the Running Man remake coming November 7th, 2025. And usually I don't mind remakes because it doesn't take away the fact that I have the original. But I wasn't too excited about this. Glenn Powell's a good actor. He's going to be starring in this role. But what sold me mostly on this Running Man movie was the director, Edgar Wright. He directed Baby Driver. He directed Shaun of the Dead. And I love Edgar Wright movies. So I'm very excited to check out his version of The Running Man. If you haven't seen the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I highly recommend you guys check it out. It is a phenomenal movie in my opinion. And of course, we talked about this the other day because they released a little teaser, The Naked Gun, which I'm very excited for. I cannot wait to see. I think Liam Neeson's going to kill it in this role, and it's just going to be a lot of fun, in my opinion. Anyways, so out of all that, so it's hard for me to pick because I am very excited for Mission Impossible, and I'm also very excited for The Naked Gun and Running Man. But if I had to pick which one I'm the most excited for, I'd have to say Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, because I just love this franchise and it's so good. But oh man, if you ask me any other day, I'd probably say Naked Gun. I could possibly even say The Running Man. It's hard to say, but what movie are you most excited for this Paramount announcements? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. And remember, guys, stay true, be odd.